Hello students, welcome back. Our today's topic is pathological vaginal infections. Pathological vaginal infections. It is a lengthy topic and a little bit confusing. So please listen carefully. Follow me very carefully, then only you can understand these terms. Okay, under this pathological vaginal infection, we have to discuss five topics, mainly five topics. There are many pathological vaginal infections, but we are planning to discuss only five topics. Gonorrhea, chlamydial infection, trichomonal, monilial or candidal infection, otherwise known as candidiasis, and bacterial vaginosis. Among these, except bacterial vaginosis, all others are sexually transmitted diseases. Others are bacterial vaginosis is not sexually transmitted diseases. All others are sexually transmitted. One of the main symptoms of this pathological vaginal infection is increased vaginal discharge. So in our OP, gynecological OP, we can see many patients complaining of increased vaginal discharge. So please remember that leukorrhea is an increased normal vaginal discharge. Leukorrhea means simply an increased normal vaginal discharge. Abnormal vaginal discharge is not considered as leukorrhea. So leukorrhea is not our today's topic. Before going to discuss each topic separately, let us have a small description about common symptoms of pathological vaginal infections. Let us see what are the common signs and symptoms of all pathological vaginal infections. So the first one is the pruritus. We know pruritus is the itching of vulval region, pruritus vulva. Except bacterial vaginosis, all other conditions are associated with the pruritus. The next one is the inflammation. We have seen that it is inflammation, vaginitis. So we can see the inflammatory changes in all these conditions. In bacterial vaginosis, here also in bacterial vaginosis, the inflammatory changes are less, that we will discuss later. Then increased vaginal discharge means increased vaginal discharge, copious, and sometimes it may be foul smelling, except in candidiasis. In candidiasis, the discharge is not foul smelling. All other conditions are associated with the foul smelling vaginal discharge. Burning in vagina, all these conditions are associated with the burning in vagina. Then dyspareunia, that is pain with sexual intercourse. Then a feature of inflammation, that is increase in WBC in vaginal fluid. If we examine the vaginal fluid under microscope, we can see increased WBC. In bacterial vaginosis, it is not seen. So we cannot see increased WBC. We cannot see increased WBC in bacterial vaginosis. In all other conditions, we can see the signs of inflammation, that is the increased WBC. And pain or discomfort during pelvic examination. All these are the common signs and symptoms of all these pathological infections of vagina. Pruritus, inflammation of vulva, vaginal discharge, increased vaginal discharge, burning in vagina, dyspareunia, increase in WBC count, pain or discomfort during pelvic examination. So first we are going to discuss about gonorrhea. You know the term gonorrhea and you know little bit about this condition gonorrhea. It is caused by a bacteria known as Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Neisseria gonorrhoeae. It is, we know, it is a sexually transmitted diseases. Sometimes this gonorrhea is associated with other sexual transmitted diseases also, especially syphilis, chlamydial infection, similarly Trichomonas vaginalis. Neisseria gonorrhoeae is a non-motile, non-spore-forming, gram-negative diplococci. The incubation period of this condition is 2 to 10 days. That is all about the organism. So how this gonorrhea is infected? The vaginal epithelium is squamous cell epithelium. So vaginal squamous cell epithelium is resistant to gonococcal infection. So gonorrhea attack the next level, the columnar epithelium. Vagina is composed of squamous cell epithelium, but the cervix composed of columnar epithelium. So it attacks the columnar epithelium of cervix, or it attacks the Bartholin gland or urethra, and it ascends upwards. That is the mode of infection of gonorrhea. Most of the time it infected along with the sperm. So we can see that it ascends in a piggyback fashion attached to the sperm to reach the fallopian tube, uterus, and producing the pelvic inflammatory diseases, endometritis, similarly salpingitis. So we can see gonorrhea attacks not only the genital organ, it also attacks the urinary organs also. So it is first type, it is the gonorrhea urogenital organ. Gonorrhea attacks urogenital organ, infect urogenital organ, and it also affect organs like pharynx, mouth, tonsil, etc. And sometimes this gonorrhea spread into other parts of the body like joints, lungs, meninges, etc. So these are the site of infections of gonorrhea. So it is not limited to the female sex organs. Primarily it affects the urogenital organ. It also affects the mouth, tonsil and pharynx, and sometimes it metastases to other parts of the body. So what are the clinical features of gonorrhea? We can see the early clinical findings. Most of the patients are asymptomatic. Actually, this is the most common STD worldwide. Worldwide, gonorrhea is the most common STD, especially in developing countries like India. Still, it is the most common STD. But most of the patients are asymptomatic. And sometimes the symptoms starts with an infection of pharynx or infection of cervix or infection of anal canal. The symptoms may start like this. Then associated with the urinary symptoms. Gonorrhea always associated with the urinary symptoms. Gonorrhea is affect genitourinary organ. So urinary symptoms like profuse urination, increased frequency of urination, etc. Then comes the pruritus. We have seen that pruritus is the common feature of all the pathological infections of vagina. So here also it is associated with pruritus. We can use 1+ mark for pruritus in gonorrhea. Dyspareunia, a painful intercourse. It is also the common feature of all the pathological infections of vagina. Then we have seen that it affects directly, it affects the Bartholin gland, not the epithelial mucosa. It affects the Bartholin gland. So we can there is a swollen, painful external genitalia due to the involvement of Bartholin gland, due to the swelling of painful swelling of Bartholin gland. There is a patient complains of swollen, painful external genitalia. Then again, on squeezing the urethra and giving a pressure to Bartholin gland, there is a purulent discharge escaped out. So this is one feature, that is the swollen, painful external genitalia due to the involvement of Bartholin gland. So on speculum examination, we can see whitish discharge or mucopurulent discharge. There are two types of discharge in gonorrhea, either a whitish discharge or a mucopurulent discharge. Then late clinical manifestation. Late clinical manifestation include Bartholin's abscess, tubo-ovarian abscess, blockage of fallopian tube. Then sometimes we already learned that the gonorrhea may metastasis or spread to other parts of the body, and it will result in polyarthralgia, dermatitis, carditis, meningitis, conjunctivitis, etc. These are the late clinical manifestations. So the organism ascends from cervix to uterus to fallopian tube. It infects all these upper genital organs and produces PID, pelvic inflammatory diseases. Then these pelvic inflammatory diseases may cause abortion and other complications. And in past, it was one of the main cause of conjunctiva of newborn. When the infected mother give birth to a newborn, the newborn may complain of ophthalmia neonatorum. Then how can we diagnose this condition, gonorrhea? So nowadays, the most relevant test is the NAT, that is nucleic acid amplification testing, nucleic acid amplification test of urine or endocervical discharge. And it means the identification of DNA or RNA of that organism, so that we can identify which organism causes the infection. So it is very 90% sensitive and is the most recommended test nowadays. Then gram staining, it is another method of laboratory investigation. Gram staining of the smear prepared from any suspicious discharge. Then culture from the urethra and cervix. We can identify the organism by culture of urethra and so once again about the features of gonorrhea. We have already seen that it caused by a bacteria, Neisseria gonorrhoeae, and pruritus is one of the symptoms associated with urinary symptoms. Gonorrhea is always associated with urinary symptoms because it affects genital organ and urinary organs. Then vaginal discharge. Vaginal discharge is whitish or mucopurulent. Then along with other symptoms like pruritus, increased vaginal discharge, urinary symptoms, dyspareunia, we can see that involvement of Bartholin's duct, or there is painful swelling of external genitalia due to the involvement of Bartholin gland. So Bartholin's gland swelling, painful swelling of Bartholin gland. That is a feature of gonorrhea. Then regarding investigation, we can see that it can be the most sensitive test to diagnose gonorrhea is NAT, N-A-A-T, and gram staining, again culture. These are the methods of investigation. NAT means nucleic acid amplification test. Then regarding management of gonorrhea, so we know that it is a sexually transmitted disease. So specific medication and general management of all the sexually transmitted infections. Then regular follow-up until the patient is negative culture result. So we have to follow up the patient regularly until the patient is negative. Simultaneous treatment of husband is necessary because it is a sexually transmitted disease. Avoid multiple sex partner. It is a general advice given to all sexually transmitted disease patient. Then use condom till both partners are negative. All these comes under the all these are the management of gonorrhea. Then regarding rubrics and medicine, chronic gonorrhea and suppressed gonorrhea. So the rubric for acute gonorrhea, the rubric is urethra discharge gonorrheal acute. That is the rubric. Chapter urethra. Urethra discharge gonorrheal acute. Chronic gonorrhea, again the chapter is urethra. Urethra discharge GLIT. That is the rubric for chronic gonorrhea. Again in genitalia female also we can see another rubric, genitalia female leukorrhea gonorrheal. Actually leukorrhea in medical terms, leukorrhea is not a term for pathological infections or pathological discharge, but in repertory leukorrhea is used for both purposes. Leukorrhea means it is used for both increased normal vaginal discharge and increased abnormal vaginal discharge. So under leukorrhea we can see the rubrics, subrubrics and medicines of all the pathological infections of vagina. So your genitalia female leukorrhea gonorrheal is another rubric for gonorrhea. The general psychosis, this is another rubric, gonorrhea for chronic gonorrhea. And rubric for suppressed gonorrhea. Rubric for suppressed gonorrhea is given in chapter generals or generalities. Gonorrhea suppressed. So these are the rubrics related to acute gonorrhea, chronic gonorrhea and suppressed gonorrhea.